Welcome to Trauma Recovery Out Loud, where we talk about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going in our trauma recovery journeys. Join us and get some insights and encouragement to keep going and keep growing. Let's go. Is it time? Is it time?
It's time. Did he just say it's time? We didn't have a lot of fun in the desert. You didn't know you were coming to a concert, did you?
Well, you just never know. And if you guys, like a couple of us here, raised your kids on Veggie Tales, we may or may not have made a slight reference thereunto.
Indeed.
I did not have children to raise on VeggieTales, but I am familiar, but not with what you just said.
Well, excuse me. Chaos.
Chaos.
I'm taking my glasses off. I don't know. It just showed up when I started coughing because, I can't seem to do this without a frog.
Oh, the ever-present frog. It goes away, but
Why?
it keeps coming back.
I could spend the entire day talking and my voice is fine. As soon as I turn on the microphone, ribbit, croak.
It's funny. At my job, there's often these large periods of silence and everybody's sitting on their computers. And then inevitably, somebody will say, "Hey, Evelyn, this and that." And I'm like, oh, great.
I guess I don't have that problem because I'm pretty much always talking at my job since I'm a cashier, although I do have the allergies and the nasal problems, so there's that.
Indeed. And so here we are trying to do a podcast.
And our mid-50s, Gen X trying to do our podcast. We're falling apart, people.
So
support us to keep us together.
I got a big old zit right here in the middle of my forehead, so I needed to get what do you call it? What's that stuff you put on to hide things on your face?
Concealer?
Concealer, yes. I opened up my concealer to dot on some so I could pound it in. The dang tip's missing off the applicator. I'm dotting my forehead with metal.
Oh,
nothing
lovely.
like puberty in your
face. We are falling apart, people, including our makeup.
You can't even tell, though. But now everyone knows. So
now everybody knows. But yeah, I have like things all over my face that I'm trying to hide because I'm in my mid-50s. But whatever.
Nothing like puberty in your 50s.
Puberty
now. I hope not. Menopause is bad enough.
It's like puberty in reverse. You still get the acne.
Acme?
You get the acme, huh? You're going to the store now?
Yes.
We're going with
the acne.
We're going with the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote to the Acme.
I was not blessed with the acne or cursed or whatever you want to call it.
Well, good. I'm glad you didn't have to experience that, but I sure did.
At least not that much. A little bit.
I sure did too. So
I had terrible acne for most of my life. It actually mostly went away after menopause.
Actually, I did have it, but not on my face, on my chest and stuff, which is not fun either. But anyways,
I had a lady who came up to me once. I had like my makeup was looking really good, and she goes, "Oh, you have such beautiful skin," and I almost laughed right out loud. I was like, "You have no idea what it looked like before all this went on."
Seriously.
But I just smiled and said, "Thank you."
Yo, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, guys.
We've discussed acne and other things.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast, Trauma Recovery Out Loud, where we're kind of weird and silly, but also try to talk about things out loud, like what it's like to be in trauma recovery.
Yeah.
Especially that.
Yes.
Yeah, especially that.
Particularly that. And we try to
the
be
weirdness is our on-ramp.
Particularly that. Yes. Rochelle, move your microphone closer. Chaos lady. You can sit back. Just move it closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a fist width if I sit back too much, so I'll just stay here.
Okay. You just stay right there, Rochelle.
Okay, I won't
Don't
move.
move. Don't move. You've been big sister.
You know how I said that my nose was not going to be a problem? Well, guess what?
It's a problem.
My nose just started running.
Oh no.
Well,
You
you
better-
better catch it.
Same as the frog
Ah.
the entire day.
You
It's
took my
fine.
joke, Evelyn. Dang it.
I'm a joke snatcher.
Joke snacks.
I was trying to make a joke about the fact that Stephanie talked about the frog in her throat that she gets when the mic comes on. My nose decides to start running when the mic comes on. What the heck?
What the heck?
So I'll be right back. I'm going to mute my mic.
All right. Mute your mic, blow your nose, whatever. Evelyn and I'll just stare into the camera. Oh, Rochelle's catching her nose. Oh no, don't go into the light.
Oh, you caught me just in time.
We're so weird.
Oh man, yeah, the weirdness is definitely in the house.
How we are ever serious is absolutely amazing. Miraculous, really.
We can be serious. We're
Yeah,
pretty.
that
We're
is true.
I told somebody once who was looking at a dojo, they came to visit, and I said, because we were joking around, whatever, I said, we take our art seriously, but we try not to take ourselves too seriously.
That's true.
We like to joke around.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
We take this podcast seriously, but we try not to take ourselves too seriously.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I have to adjust my mic because it keeps. There we go. Okay, it's right in the right spot now. Don't move.
Looking at you, Mike. Speaking of Mike, recap alert.
Whee!
Last week we had Mike Minercha on to talk about why exercise is good for you and
Yes,
why
we
it helps you in trauma recovery, and you should do it more because your body was made to move, as he said.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and we had a grand old time with him, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Certainly enjoyed it, and I'll probably be. I didn't go last week because I was in a really, 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 really low mood. I could not function, but I'm pretty sure I'll make it this week because I'm not in quite such a low mood. Yeah. I think it was sometimes, it's good to rest when you know for sure that you just don't have what it takes to do. As long as that's not like every day.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
every once in a while, it's okay to take a rest and not do the normal thing and just let yourself be whatever. I had to feel the way I was feeling Wednesday and Thursday last week. Because it was kind of a necessity in order to be able to feel better. And I actually did feel better by Friday. So,
Yeah.
But I'll be back this week, I'm sure. And, he'll have me doing some kind of magical mobility machination. I'm sure. Usually does. But
Yes,
we're
indeed.
spending time talking about things you can do to make your life better. We've talked about why it matters. We've talked about building good habits. We talked about self-awareness and
Your attitude about it.
no, that was the first one. I already said that.
Okay.
Self-awareness and
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
I wanted to have an H word. I don't know which H word, but there we are. And then we started with the actual things, exercise. So this week, we're going to talk about hobbies and communities.
Yep.
Why they're good for you, especially when you're in trauma recovery. And I was thinking about this earlier today. I was thinking, like, we all share what amounts to a hobby, but really isn't a hobby. It's a community for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about, like, is martial arts training a hobby? I guess you could make a case for it being a hobby, but at the same time, it's not really a hobby because it's more a lifestyle thing than not.
I agree.
Although some people make their hobbies their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to categorize it, but it's definitely a thing that we're doing.
Yeah. I think it's both. I think it's hobby and lifestyle. I think, um, in my mind, a hobby is something you do because you enjoy it, and you can be passionate about it for sure. But I think a lifestyle is something that you've adopted and made to fit within your value system. I think that's how I think of taking a martial art. Is it's taught me a lot, it's teaching me a lot, and it's helping shape my values.
Yeah.
It's not just
So,
something I happen to enjoy doing, which I do, but that's beside the point.
yeah. So let's talk about what we mean by hobbies and communities, activities, things that you can do. Like everybody has to, I mean, not everybody. Most people have some kind of a life where they're at home,
Yeah.
taking care of family, or
Yeah.
they have a job and they're out there working, or they have some sort of, or if you're Christian or some sort of religious person, you might have a ministry. You have things that you're doing, like they're kind of required. Like if you want to eat, have clothes, and a nice and a decent place to live, you have to work, or somebody in your family has to work.
Right.
Um, so we're not really talking about that kind of thing. Like that's essential to life. We're talking about things outside of that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about activities that are fun or fulfilling or bring you into community in some way. So it could be just about anything. There's so many different things out there
Mm-hmm.
that people can do. But what do we mean by that? Like what do we mean by hobbies, activities, communities? What's the context? Or did I already say it?
Um, I was just sitting here going, we didn't really discuss this, so I wrote down a few things that I
Let's
thought
discuss
of.
it now.
But I mean,
On our podcast, who would have thought
so I mean, I think the obvious context would be in as we're trying to recover, as we're trying to deal with our manage our mental health needs and in a way that will enrich our lives. I think one of you already said that. Adds joy, adds something more than just existing.
Yeah.
Right.
And something that we can do that will just improve our lives, really. So do you mean like as far as hobbies? Like, are we talking about hobbies? We're going to differentiate between hobbies and communities. We already talked about how they can overlap.
Yeah, I think what I'm interested in talking about is extracurriculars that could be considered an activity, a hobby, things that bring you into connection and community. I think that's kind of where my brain goes when I think about that. Like, I can have, I mean, you can have hobbies where you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it isn't always about connection. Maybe it's just about doing things you like doing.
Yeah, I was thinking about like one of my big ones that has helped me so much is playing the piano. Now, that doesn't bring me into community necessarily, although I used to teach piano, and so I had a community that developed around that. But when I've gone through some really hard stuff, just to sit down at the piano and just start playing whatever comes out, just start playing, and I've made up songs, and it's just a way to process. Um, it'll have a more minor tone when things are really heavy. It'll be slower and lower, and sometimes, I'll spend, I'll spend time, and I don't even realize how much time has gone by, and I'm just like processing the pain where I don't have words and I don't have, I don't want to talk to anybody else about it just now. I just need to be doing that. And piano playing has been a hobby for me ever since I saw a piano, I think, for the first time. So
Right.
I think in that sense, for me, it's been a hobby, but it's also been a therapy or a
Sure.
therapy help, a tool.
Yeah, so maybe what we're talking about are a couple of different things. One would be things you do to help regulate yourself or to
Mhm.
bring yourself joy or happiness, or a release from tension or sadness. I mean, there's so many things people do that are healthy. I mean, if you're reading books or painting pictures or playing piano or, I like cooking. That's a release for me.
Mhm.
I think any number of things you can do, if it's bringing you joy in some way or bringing you happiness or helping you regulate or
Mhm.
releasing tension. I think that would fit into what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It's
You
funny.
know,
I'm wearing a video game shirt, and I love to play video games. It's one of my favorite things to do.
well, let's talk about those. Okay, so we're going to talk about those kind first, I think, because we've identified that those things are
Mhm.
part of what we're talking about. So maybe let's talk about personal, like a few personal things we like to do that are, bring you joy or release. Or we already mentioned a couple, but let's talk about some more.
Um. Well, I've been playing video games since I was, God, like 14, maybe younger.
When we got the Atari,
Probably so.
taking
Definitely
you're
younger.
counting all the way back to then.
I'd
Oh,
say
yeah.
we were. It was probably like what 8 or 9, maybe before Marsha was born. So probably 8.
Okay.
But I didn't really get into it until I was in my teens. But I was always kind of drawn to it. And then when things changed, at the first PlayStation came out, things changed dramatically at that point. There's something about the stories. There's something about, and I love I'm not a violent person by nature, but in the context of video games, I do enjoy the more violent fighting aspects. I should say I'm not aggressive by nature. I'm Bun Bun after all.
True.
But in the context of a video
Cute and
game,
fluffy.
in the context of a video game, I can be someone else temporarily, and I can do something that helps me. It does help me regulate. It helps bring some type of release in terms of emotion. And I think like the repetitiveness can get a bit tedious after a while, but there's also something comforting about that. It's kind of like it's kind of like crocheting or knitting. There's some repetition to it, which can become simultaneously comforting and tedious at the same time.
Mhm.
But it does do things to like, it brings out a side to me that most people don't see. Like there's things about it I enjoy that might be a little weird. And this one in particular that I'm wearing is not a super violent game. It's actually a Disney game. It's been around for a really long time, called Kingdom Hearts. It's a lot of fun. There are there are other darker video games I've played before that definitely can pull out the more darker, deeper aspects of trauma in a way that helps you feel like, hey, I'm dealing with this in this way. I'm not actually going to hurt someone, but I can hurt someone that's digital and think about what I, kind of process through things. And you don't really have to engage your brain a whole lot, at least not your entire brain. There's a part of your brain that gets engaged in video games, and the rest of it can be thinking about things if you want to, or you just kind of zone out a little bit and just calm down and relax and get excited about the game or whatever. Like most hobbies do that we do, the most personal hobbies we do.
Yeah. I enjoy movies and television. I'm a bit of a movie buff and TV buff, and
True.
I really get into the stories and get excited about things relating to the stories, and I'm always looking for like really good entertainment that I can get into or relate to. It's an escape for sure. Also, I go at watching, and you guys have both experienced this with me, so you know what I'm talking about. I go at watching movies like it's a sport.
That's true. You do.
We guess things, we talk to the characters, we don't have side conversations about things not related to the TV show or movie. But we high five each other if we guess right. I mean, it's like,
Yeah. It's
I try to make it interactive and fun. Evelyn and I crack the dumbest jokes when we're watching TV together or movie together. But it's fun. I find that really fun
is.
and cathartic.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I especially like watching really terrible martial art movies.
I think we all like that to some degree.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I love it. It's so much fun.
yeah, I mean, we've had whole parties around that.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have.
I also
That really is like
enjoy,
a sporting event.
yeah, I really enjoy cooking. I like crafting and creating. I'm not an art person exactly, but I do like making things.
Mhm.
If I can imagine something in my head and like develop it and make it happen, that's really satisfying. Um, and that doesn't matter if it's food or some weapon or some art project. Like I said, I'm not an artist per se, but I do like doing art once in a while.
Mhm.
I also have video games I play on my phone that aren't violent at all. They're more like puzzles. I'm really into
Mhm.
puzzle games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that leaves you, Evelyn.
Oh, well.
Do you have some hobbies besides piano playing?
Yeah, besides the piano. I do love to sing.
Oh yeah, I meant to say that one. I love singing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so it's just, I'll get a song stuck in my head, and it's always fun, especially if I'm home alone, just me and the critters. I'll just start belting out something, and I've got this song in my head, so I'll sing and I'll dance, and it's like it's a whole thing. Um, and I usually don't do it when others are around that much,
Which is
but
kind of funny because you used to be a professional singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I grew up with it, so I don't really think about it that much. But yeah, and I went to music school, and we recorded some albums and stuff. But you know, to just to just let loose, I love that. Um, I haven't done this in a while. Of course, it's like ridiculously cold out and snowy, but I love to go for a long walk. Like in the game, and like we have a game preserve not far from here, lots of great hiking trails. And to just like immerse in the woods and the trail and nature, the smells, the sounds. I love to have a creek nearby, the sound of that. Books. So I am pretty deep into Shogun now, the book. Steph mentioned it, and I was like, "That's a book I've been wanting to read," and I've always been intimidated because it's so dang thick.
It's
But
over 1,000 pages long.
it is, but it's so well. It's funny because I got a version that was a little more manageable, but I forgot to take my 50-something eyes into consideration. I'm like, the print is so small; I have to have enough light. But what happens is, while I'm reading it, I'm in it, unless I'm distracted, and then I'm like reading the same paragraph 5 times. But when I'm in it, the story starts. I start to see it. I start to hear it. It's a whole thing, and then it continues. Like I can bring it to mind every once in a while, and I love that because it is a kind of escape, and I've always loved reading for that because for a while I can be in another place,
Yeah.
and it's like the whole rest of the world just goes away, which was great when I was a kid too, dealing with stuff, being bullied and problems in my family and whatnot. If I could just escape in a book, oh yes, sign me up. And then I wrote down writing as one of my things, but so I edit for a living now. So I'm looking at words all day long, which is taken away from the whole writing thing a little bit for me. I'm like, I don't feel like it now. But if I'm going through something really heavy duty, I find that if I can write poetry, it's more succinct. It's more I can write down what I'm feeling, and then the process of doing the poem helps me to process what I'm feeling. And
Mhm.
I've and sometimes, and I love it when this happens. It doesn't happen that often, but I'll be feeling something so strongly that I'll get a full poem and I just write it down. I had one that happened a few years ago. I was going through something very intense, and I ended up writing this poem that had like this rhythm to it, and it just came out, and I wrote it down, and it was some things I was realizing, like the bigger picture. I was going through something very painful, but I could sense a context to it, and I could sense good even in this hard thing. And I was able to put that in a poem. And yeah, those are my biggies. Also, um, escaping in a really good TV series. Something
Yeah.
like anything like crime related. I tend to like, solving a murder
Yeah,
mystery.
I call any TV shows that are, you know, centered around murder and solving murders or crime or whatever. Um, Murder and
Mayhem.
Murder and Mayhem. Yes, Murder and
M&Ms.
Mayhem.
It's our favorite
Because
M&Ms.
it's usually what's happening is murder and mayhem.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's true.
and there's a whole process. You have this terrible thing that happened. You have this criminal out there, and then you have the process of getting that person to justice. I love that.
Which is why they call them police procedurals.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. I've never heard that till now.
I could almost say another hobby of mine is listening to apologetics and theology.
Oh yes,
I do that a lot.
Yes.
I also love dancing as well. I have always loved dancing since I was really little. I could say that's probably true.
I have a slightly different, well, a somewhat different approach to movies and television, more movies and television than Stephanie does. I don't know how this started, but several years ago and more recently, it's been becoming more apparent recently. I've been looking for symbolism in movies, and I'm actively doing that. The way that when I get involved in a story, and I guess it's part of the recovery process, seeing things that pertain to what I'm feeling at any given time, or a memory might come up or something like that. I don't know how you define that as a hobby, but it's something I pretty actively do. And
it's an activity.
And especially with music, I do that a lot with music too. Like I can find a lot of things that relate to what I'm going through in a moment at any given time. And it's been pretty, how do I say this word? Is it integral?
It works.
I think integral. I'm not sure.
The lot and
people know what you mean, Rochelle. Just say whatever.
Okay,
keep going.
The last 5 weeks or so, it's become integral to my making a conscious decision to step into recovery. Become a really important element in that. So something I'm developing more and more.
Yeah, I've been watching The Mentalist pretty regularly the last couple of months, but I have a tendency to like Sherlock Holmes-esque quirky side, consulting detective person working for the local police, whatever shows. Yeah. So The Mentalist has been interesting because it's been different. I don't want to get too sidetracked by favorite TV shows.
Yeah.
But I'm also a massive nerd, and I watch a lot of sci-fi.
Same here.
I read a lot of sci-fi when I was in school. I did read Shogun, Evelyn. You were talking about how it plays in your mind. There's still things 30-something years later from that book that still play in my head. And I find it a little bit ironic that I read that book when I was 17, and now I'm part of Japanese culture to an extent, doing a Japanese martial art.
You were sowing the seeds.
Yeah. How ironic. Anyway, so personal things. Rochelle's talked a little bit about how these personal activities help her. I don't think Evelyn and I talked too much about that, but it'd be good to, I think we could talk about that a little bit more. Like, how does it help me regulate? How does it give me joy? I think getting joy out of something's a little more obvious. It's just what makes you happy.
It feels good. Yeah.
It feels good. It gives you a dopamine hit or serotonin hit in some way. And we're wired to do more of the things that make us feel good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So increasing joy in my life and finding things that actually make me feel good is essential, integral. I mean,
Integral.
Is that the word of the night?
That's the word of the
Integral,
night.
apparently.
All right. Anyway, it's essential. It's integral to increasing my mood to benefit myself so that I can do things that are a drain,
Yeah.
that are, you know, emotional energy sucking activities like running a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
As fun as it is.
As fun as it is, teaching martial arts, as fun as that is, it is a drain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
Running a family,
Yeah.
helping my son who's got some pretty serious issues. He's trying to go to college and I'm trying to help him through it. That is
Yeah.
draining. So I need things in my life that help me to feel better, that give me joy. But also, what was the other thing I said? It was not only getting joy, but it was
Did you say, was it helping you regulate?
helping me regulate. Yes.
There it is. Thank you, Rochelle.
I think by virtue of getting more joy and happiness in my life, that helps me regulate. But there's also this release. I used to say in my 30s that I would hand make loaves of bread because I was upset and angry, and I would put all that energy into kneading the dough. Right? Some people clean when they're mad. You know, there's a number of things that I can do that's a physical release for tension that I'm carrying. Focusing on cooking, for example, sometimes it's a joy thing, sometimes it's a tension release.
Yeah.
Pause for you, Evelyn.
Thank you. Okay. I love that. I was like, oh, let her finish. And then she's waiting for me. So one thing I was thinking about, I really enjoy cooking as well. And I often will make something if I'm experiencing something intense and I'm not sure what to do with myself. So a couple of weeks ago, I had gotten some news about something that was coming up, and it was a pretty major thing. And it was I wouldn't say it was totally unexpected, but I didn't know how it would impact me. And I was upset. I had a lot of emotions going on. And I had this sudden urge to make cookies. And I had time. So I had the evening open. And no one was home but me. So I put on some music. I think I did. That sounds like something I would do. Because I found this recipe for cookies. It was simple. It had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 ingredients. And there was a whole process to it. As you know, with any baking, but it was a little more like I will often just make bar cookies just because I'm going to take cookies somewhere and I need something quick. But I wanted something a little more slow. So I was putting all the ingredients in the bowl and I was doing, the wet ingredients, the dry ingredients, and then I had to form it, and then I had to put it in the refrigerator for a while, and then it was the slicing and, all of the whole process. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do with all these cookies now? And I thought, I'll take them to work tomorrow. So I made these cookies. And the whole time I was making them, I wasn't specifically thinking about what caused me to feel so emotional. I was just feeling the emotions and just letting them be there while I focused on cooking. And then the next day, anybody who brings cookies in is going to be the office hero. So I just quietly put them in the common area in our little office suite. And I just kind of waited. And, oh, who made the cookies? Oh, that was me. Oh, thank you. These are so good. And I felt I still had a lot of the emotions, but there was this joy in it, in the midst of it. and it was good. And when I remember this time, it was a couple weeks ago ish,
Mhm.
that's going to be part of the memory of what it felt like and what I was going through. I think it was the right thing at the right time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a brownie recipe that I came across that requires you to continuously stir butter and sugar together because you melt the butter and then you put the sugar in and you have to stir it to the sugar is almost melted.
Hmm.
That takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I can sit there and do this with the sugar and switch hands, of course, because that one gets tired. Switch back
Right.
like that. 10 minutes of that kind of thing takes up a lot of physical energy, which I could also put my emotional energy into.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you have the joy of awesome brownies at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they were quite awesome. I can attest to that.
Yeah. But yeah, now we're talking about, personal things that we do to help ourselves. Some people take up sports. Some people are
Mhm.
really into sports and they might play alone, depending on what the sport is. They might play with a partner or in a
Mhm.
team, which brings me to communities because a
Aha.
lot of activities can be community based, which means you have connections going on between you and a whole one or more people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, People you do things with that give you some kind of joy or peace or release. Like, I don't know. In the 90s, it seemed like a lot of movies and TV shows had executives and companies playing racquetball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole
Yeah. That
thing.
seemed to be a thing. In the 80s, it
Um,
was jazzercise.
yeah, well, the thing is, it's like, why were these people playing racquetball? Right? And I think there's probably something about connections that you're
Mhm.
Mhm.
making with people that you're meeting at the racquetball court, but also if there's a lot of tension and stress in your job, it might be a release
Yeah.
to just hit a ball and run around and release some energy.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's a lot more to life than just racquetball, but people play golf, get on baseball or softball teams,
Mhm.
community basketball teams, singing groups, dancing groups,
Mhm.
martial arts like we do. Moms will meet together and go on walks with their babies and little kids, go to the park, meet other moms or other parents. There's like so many things that are
Yeah.
out there to do. But why, I wonder, is that type of activity, a connection, a community, so important to us as people in trauma recovery?
I'm going to venture a guess. I think it's because, especially in our case, I mean, well, all of us really, I think the connection is needed. I think when you spent a good bit of your life first being in some sort of trauma situation and then being in recovery, recovery feels very alone. It feels very lonely. And I've watched a lot of people on TikToks and things say, and these are people who have addictions, and they said when they got sober, they lost all their friends. When they went to AA, they made new friends, but they had to. It takes time and effort to reestablish or to establish new friendships in a completely different way. And
Especially when all the adults are dysregulated.
exactly,
That can
and
be chaotic.
Yeah.
I consider the three of us a community because I had an incident at work the other day where a customer said something to me. I'm not going to repeat what it was, but he said something that completely like threw me off guard. I was thrown so hard mentally and emotionally. I had no time to deal with it. And I told you guys during my break, and I'm like, it was a short conversation, but it was so needed because I'm going to cry. Shocker, I know. Um, it was so
Oh,
needed.
here come the tears. Go ahead.
It was so needed because I I've been teaching myself how. Well, I should say, God's been teaching me how to regulate and how to manage my nervous system. But this is something in that moment in time I could not manage. Had to contain because I was at work. But with that, after that conversation, through text, I was able to calm down, and I'm like, I'm so thankful for those. I'm so thankful for them. Like, just because Stephanie's my sister doesn't mean I'm not thankful for her. I mean, she's kind of built in, but I'm glad she's here, and I'm glad that Evelyn is our friend. And it was so needed at that point. That connection, that bond that we share, is so important because we don't have that when you're a kid and you're in an abusive situation. You're very isolated, just by nature.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're out there, you're an adult, and you don't know how to manage yourself.
Right.
So finding support is so important. Even if you're not doing an activity per se, you're just hanging out with friends or whatever, and they're good and healthy people and they're teaching you things or whatever, it's always needed.
Yeah. I was pretty dysregulated most of the day about a specific thing that's going on right now. And I asked Evelyn if I could FaceTime her between, like, right at the beginning of making dinner, because I kind of wanted to run something past her. And so I told her how I was feeling and what I was thinking about, and she asked me a bunch of questions, which made me go, yeah, probably not a good idea. And that was actually helpful because it kind of got me out of the hamster wheel that I was in about it. And this thing that we're talking about is actually called co-regulating. Yeah. Co-regulating is when you're not using someone else to regulate yourself, but someone else is helping you regulate yourself when you ask for what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I'm upset about something, I usually want to talk. Like, I want to verbally express myself to someone. Often it's my husband, but often too, it's also Rochelle or Evelyn. And, you know, I ask, can I talk to you? This is what I want to talk about. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then I talk about it, and then they give me feedback or reassurance or whatever it is I'm looking for, if they can give it to me. And that helps me calm down because I'm feeling seen or validated or heard or understood, or any number of things that I regularly feel like doesn't happen enough or hasn't happened enough in my life. Being silenced as a child, being shut down, being told it was all in my head, any number of things, it all comes back even as an adult. I get triggered, get dysregulated. The hamster wheel starts, the thoughts whirl, the body is feeling the adrenaline. And if I can reach out to someone and ask for help, that really puts me back in a place where I can calm down, refocus, tell myself what's true, or hear what's true, believe it. Whatever it is that's going on or what's needed. And I feel like when we have community, depending on the community and the connections, to some extent, we can get that.
Yeah. Definitely. I was thinking about when I had my worst times with my mental health, part of my spiraling downward was I got so consumed with shame that I started to just isolate from everyone, which made everything so much worse. So that's one of the things that I'm really careful about now, because I realize that when I do that, when I pull away, Steph mentioned about the hamster wheel. Sometimes we can be very creative, and maybe too creative in the stories we tell ourselves in our minds, and we start to believe it, and then we start seeing evidence, and then we believe it more, and it becomes this thing that's self-feeding without getting some outside perspective, without reaching out and saying, hey guys, I'm really struggling. Here's what I've been thinking. Would you let me know what you think? I think the main thing is that we're designed for connection. We're not meant to stay in our own little space in our own heads. And those of us, especially if we're struggling with trauma, we need somebody, good supportive friends like these ladies here. I'm also in another community of people who are recovering from all sorts of things,
Yeah.
where reach out. I mean, we all tell each other, that's why we're here, and once I got over that shame hurdle, because there was it inside of me, I don't want to bother anybody, I don't want to be a burden. And I think I remember Steph at least once saying, bother me, be a burden, you're not a burden, just reach out. And
Yeah.
after being told, several dozen times, I finally got it. And what a relief to reach out, especially if you find that you have this support system, these people that have been there for you, you've been there for them, and it becomes this very healthy, I thought of the word organism. That could go a
Yeah.
little strange, but it becomes this healthy, yeah, I'll say it, organism.
We are separate people. We don't live together. We're not amalgamated.
We are not. But there is, in any support system that you develop, I guess whether it's healthy or not, it becomes its own entity. It's just like when you talk about your friendship or things you do for the sake of your friendship, things you do for the sake of each other's mental health. We treasure that. We have this relationship, whether it's in a community or what we have, this friendship, where we're there for each other. We value that. And then we do what we can to kind of keep it going, to keep it strong, to go ahead, be honest. Here's what I'm dealing with. And know that they're going to take the time to have the conversation, or even just everyone's busy, but I'm going to pray for you. I mean, just for me reaching out and just getting a response, that's a huge weight, because now I'm not carrying it alone anymore.
Yeah.
And I've done that. We've talked about self-regulating. I've done that at work. I'll be at work and I'm just like, oh, I get triggered by something and I start really getting in my head. I'm like, I got to get up and leave my desk and I just have to go walk. And then I'm like, I need to reach out. And then I reach out. They know what's going on. Okay. And usually, after walking around a little bit, kind of, because there's something about that physical movement that helps. Okay, now I can sit, because it's no longer stuck in here. Now it's shared.
Yeah, and I feel like part of what we're talking about is not only are you, if you're in a community of some sort, like just being connected to other people, but you might actually find your quote tribe.
Yeah.
You might find the people that are like you. So you don't feel so alone in the world. Like, I didn't know most of my life that my people are actually other martial artists. We all get excited about the same things.
Yeah.
And I can sit and talk with someone who's been training for whatever art they're training in, for however long they've been doing it, and have a connected conversation, because we kind of have the same ideas and the same feelings and like similar experiences. We can encourage each other. We can help each other see things differently if we need to. We can, share experiences. For better or for worse, I'm bonded to a certain group of people because of all the things we've been through together in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also get encouragement just from people liking you, but also what people say to you. Like, I'm going to give a short story here. This was a Tuesday night, and everybody's setting up for class at the dojo. And I was talking about something to our newest member, although he's not that new anymore. And I said, yeah, and that's part of my, that's part of dealing with my CPTSD. And randomly he said, you do a pretty good job of that, Sensei. And I'm like, Oh, thank you. Like, I just assume that I'm screwing it up all the time.
Yeah.
That I am a mess and I'm, upsetting other people. I don't think of myself in terms of triumphs and overcoming, and
Right.
Mhm.
occasionally do, but most of the time I just feel like an absolute mess and
Yeah.
wished I wasn't bothering other people.
Mhm.
Or I tend to also think people don't notice me at all,
Yes.
let alone what I'm doing or not doing, as the case may be. So, when he said that to me, it made me feel good. It was a boost
Yeah.
because it was evidence that I am doing a good job.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, I was thinking about this experience I had at work. It's been probably about a year ago. So just a little context. I had not worked outside of the house since before I was married. And, 28 years later, I got a job and it's 30 hours a week. So it's almost full time. Well, 29 hours technically. Um, And I just came in there and I'm with people who have been doing this kind of work. I was in marketing. They've been doing it for 20, 25 years, some of them, some just 10, whatever, depending on the age. And here I come and I just felt like, who am I? They could just easily replace me. I had all these thoughts of just, I don't really offer much. I don't really know what I'm doing. I have to learn all these new systems that were not in place all those many years ago. And I would just kind of be quiet in my own little bubble and try not to bother anybody with my inferiority. But I remember having I think it was a 6-month check in with my supervisor. And she went, Evelyn, I know that you're only part time, but you're one of us and you have things to say. You have input to give. And we value that. And I was like, really?
That's news to me.
Me? And, so many times it's easy for me to well, you know what? It hasn't been as easy to slip back into that old mentality anymore. It's amazing that the impact that one voice can have to turn things around.
Mhm.
Because I replay her voice in my head when I feel inferior. I can hear her saying, "You're one of us. You
Yeah.
have important things to share." I'm like,
Well, unwittingly, she is helping you co-regulate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was so anxious when I sat down. It was like I was at the principal's office, and she's sitting on the other side of the desk, and I'm looking at her, and she's like, I could tell she could tell I was nervous, and she really put me at ease. So yeah, quite literally.
Yeah.
And she was so encouraging. And and that in itself, the work is a community, the group there. Um, not as close, and there's a certain amount of professionalism and, we're not super chummy buddy buddy, but I've seen that community, like we talk about each other behind our backs, like in a good way. Like, aren't you so glad we have this coworker? You're like, she really helps us, or there's a supportive environment there. And frankly, I'm grateful because not everybody has that, in their
Yeah.
workplace, and I feel very fortunate.
I've talked quite a bit about my job, and I deliberately talk about people and say good things about them behind their back because I know it's going to get back to them. Because I used to struggle with gossip quite a bit, and now I've changed it to try to make it. I'm going to say something about somebody. I'll either say it loud enough for them to hear if they're nearby, or something positive I know that someone else may tell them. And we have a good community in my job. I'm very thankful for that, and I don't take it for granted because not every job is like that.
Mhm.
And I want to talk about the martial arts group and how it's helped me with a sense of community because it's been very important for my growth as a person. I think each person that comes in is I mean, it's just a few of us, but like we've built a community without really trying. We help each other. We learn together. We work through things together. We spend a lot of time practicing and dealing with, you know, our own whatever we're struggling with or struggling through that day. But we really help each other out. We really lean on each other. We need to, and make jokes that only martial artists would understand, which also brings camaraderie and connection as well.
Yes, yes,
This is very true.
One of my favorite ones is how we talk about pain.
yes.
We have a very strange relationship with pain.
Yes, we do. That's kind of fun, and no one else that doesn't take a martial art would really understand it.
Yeah, and talk about finding your tribe. You know, I remember when I first started, and I got into this chat group, and I was like, why are people posting pictures of bruises and calling them training trophies?
Right.
But then it didn't take long until I got one, and like okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. So Sensei lands this exceptionally good strike to my bicep, and I was like, wow, that was good. Like, that was really effective. That was cool. I'm getting a bruise. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it in the chat. Talk about finding your tribe. I mean, we're just this like fun group of weirdos who get each other.
Right. Yeah. The going through things together, the support, the camaraderie, the just being together, doing things. It's all good for you. It's all good for your mental health.
Yeah.
It's all good for not feeling alone.
Yeah.
For not only just like positive feedback, but also like correction if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that people don't think about in terms of community, like why it's good for you. Correction is one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have good connections with people, you can trust the person who's talking to you to give you healthy feedback on something.
Yeah.
Healthy criticism. If you're getting toxic criticism or toxic feedback, that's not cool.
Right.
But if it's helpful and healthy and it's pointing out something where you're making an error, and knowing that will help you get better.
Yeah.
Community is good for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we get that a lot in church, for example.
Yeah.
I think that's a mark of a good community is people who are willing to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And correct you and help guide you to a better situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I had a brief conversation earlier about me exercising, and I've been last couple of days been thinking and dealing with it, and just getting into stretching the last 2 days, and dealing with a lot of shame about it. And we had a very brief conversation about something that I was doing, and I thought about it, and I'm like, well, I don't want to have a shame spiral because it's just pointless. So I decided to go ahead and do the things that she didn't suggest anything specific, but things I knew to do that were better than what I had been doing. And that's just one example we're talking about. Like there was a little bit of a push in the right direction. Like I'm your sensei, I'm your sister. This is what you're doing. I don't think it's right. So you should do these things instead. And she was right. I didn't like to hear it at the moment because I was struggling with my shame, which had nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
But that kind of actually ended the shame at that point because it's like, oh, I just have to go and do it. I just have to start. Just go and do it and just get into it because I'm tired of being stuck where I am. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
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 Sorry. I was going to respond to what Rochelle was saying real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. So there's this concept, this thing that happens with martial arts teachers in Japan, especially. It's called uchi deshi, which is the inside student. It's a student that lives with the sensei or in the complex of the sensei's home or whatever. And they're always there. They're always training with the sensei, whatever. So Rochelle has the unenviable position of being an uchi deshi of sorts.
Yeah.
And also my sister.
Yeah.
And she happens to live with me. So the critical eye of sensei is always there on top of everything else.
Yes.
And I, it gives me a little extra room to speak truth into Rochelle's life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because how she's handling herself in other ways does affect what she's doing in the dojo. And if I'm looking for her to increase her flexibility because she's struggling to do certain things, I'm going to encourage her and maybe correct her if needed to do things one way versus another way,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe stop doing that thing and start doing this thing. And of course, it's up to her because she's an adult,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of my job too. So,
Yeah.
And I think another point of community is, like we were saying, you can trust what someone who has more knowledge about something than you have. You can trust what they're saying. They've proven themselves to be trustworthy. I think that's really important too.
Yeah.
Evelyn's tried to jump in like 3 times.
I'm sorry, Ev.
Go ahead, Evelyn.
And that's
We're
fine.
gonna
I like.
We're gonna make room for you now.
Oh, thank
In
you.
this
But
community.
no, I've been enjoying what you guys have shared. I was thinking about, there's actually a proverb that says, "An enemy multiplies kisses, but faithful are the wounds of a friend." And
Yeah.
this kind of dovetails with pointing things out that maybe the other person doesn't want to see. And Rochelle and I can both attest that Stephanie is very good at this.
Yes, she is.
But she shares it. She does it in such a kind way. And there's always that, like, she'll say, "If I notice something, can we talk about it?" And I'll be like, there's a whole thing. So initially I would get upset and I would go into shame and everything when she would point things out. But now, because I know her, I know that she sees things that I don't necessarily see, or I have sort of an idea of, but I'm not sure. Like, I know something's wrong, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah,
And she
same
has
here.
a way of identifying it. And I let myself feel the pain at first, because it feels like a wound. And then I'll feel that initial, want to hear this, this hurts and I don't like it. And then I'll give it a little time and I'll go, okay. Usually, depending on what it is, get up, walk, and it's usually something that she's typed. It's not face to face when this happens. And I'll be like,
it's mostly through text messaging.
which is good because I can reference it later, which I really like about that, because ADHD brain, I'll be like, what?
Give a little bit of a buffer for you to react whatever way you're going to react.
Yeah. So I go ahead and I let myself feel it. Yeah, you don't like it, do you? No, I don't. But is it true? And usually there's a whole, like, it depends on what it is and the kind of mood I'm in to begin with. But there's this little arc that happens. And then once I realize, not only is it true, but it's really good that she pointed that out. And now I can do something about it. And then I feel thankful. And I usually will come back with, here's what I've been thinking about that. And then thank you. Because I really am grateful that she loves me enough to give me that wound that I needed,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, this whole concept, like something I'm doing in the context of our relationship, whoever it is I'm talking to, I'm putting leadership into it and bringing up something that's creating a dynamic that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want in my relationships with people is toxicity.
Right.
I've had way too much of that in my life. And if the relationship is worth preserving, then it's important to me to, speak truth with love and to bring up whatever it is that's going on and I don't always know, maybe it's my imagination, but there's this thing that happened. Can you tell me about it? Or, the way you said that kind of hurt my feelings, that we should all be doing this with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing should not be that abnormal.
Right.
But it is co-regulating for me. It's co-regulating for Evelyn or Rochelle or whoever it is I'm talking to when things are happening. And, I'm more likely to bring it up because I'm just that kind of person.
Yeah.
But it's helpful to maintain some level of health within the relationship to have this sort of correcting thing going on. I correct myself a lot. I do this for myself a lot. Like, I'm not just doing it to other people, I'm doing it to myself.
Yeah.
And I'll say something or do something like, oh, why did you say that? Why did you do that? Like, I'll feel a conviction of the Holy Spirit pricking me, going, you should probably apologize. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I was really mad. Anyway, but yeah, being in community is not only just joy and activity and fun, but it's also connection and correction and helping you become a better person if you're not challenged. Like the whole iron sharpens iron thing.
Yes.
It's about being wounds of a friend. It's about being challenged.
Yeah.
And someone who cares enough about you to say something about something you're doing that's hurting the relationship, and try to talk it through and try to find a resolution. Because it's not just about me going, you're so bad, you should change. That's not the point.
Right.
The point is, this is happening. It's hurting me. Let's talk it through.
Yeah.
You can't get that on your own.
No.
You can't get that
you
outside of
can't.
community.
And I think if something is meaningful enough, there's value in it. That is what helps it maintain the value, because if it is toxic, no one wants to be around something like
Right.
that. It's just going to create a lot of chaos. And we all have enough chaos inside of us with CPTSD. So helping each other and connecting with each other and correcting each other if needed, as needed, is really important, because that helps co-regulate without becoming codependent and toxic.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
We want to avoid toxicity, codependency in our relationships as much as possible, because we had enough of that.
Yeah.
We have chosen not to participate in that anymore. I know, even though I still find myself in toxic situations, in codependent relationships, I still find myself in there. Once I'm aware, I have to get out of it, but I'm doing what I can to just avoid that altogether.
Right.
And with these two ladies, these two over here, it's gotten to the point where my relationship with you guys is so important to me. I cannot live without you.
Same. Agreed.
I feel the same way.
So it's incumbent upon all of us to not let anything get its foot in the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not allow things to grow, resentments, angers, frustrations, whatever. I said angers. That's not a word.
I mean, it
No,
is,
but it was funny though.
Yeah.
more than one anger.
I was going to say cute, but you don't like that.
No, don't call me cute, dang it. Anyway,
which makes us want to do it all the more.
All the more.
As you were saying.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like Satan doesn't get a foothold.
Right.
Right.
And
Agreed.
Satan can present himself in all of us. And if any of us are acting weird or toxic, we need to call it out. And I think it's safe to say we're all better for the three of us being together.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
We've been through quite a lot since we started this. It took a lot of work, a lot of tears,
a lot of conversations,
long conversations, to even be able to sit here with joy and purity, and to really be able to be clear and open and honest and communicate, to do what we're doing together, because this is tough. This whole podcast thing is tough. Like,
a lot of work. It definitely does most of it.
It's a lot of work, and it's kind of aggravating.
I'm sure.
We're trying to establish social media presence. We're, trying to throw our hat in the ring and get noticed and do things. And we kind of have a system for it now, but it's not easy to do. So I can't do it without these two.
Mhm.
I don't know how this is going to turn out when it actually renders, but
Yeah.
right now they're both this side of me.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we didn't have each other's talents and like support, whatever, like if somebody's really struggling, the other people could pick up and do
Mhm.
something for them, or we could talk about how we're going to handle it, or
Yeah.
yeah. So it's 1 hour, 10 minutes.
I
Yeah.
think it's time to sum up.
And you haven't summed up yet.
Summation alert.
My phone's falling.
Oh no. Okay. Summation of what we talked about. Let's see how I do here. Okay. So the first thing we talked about was how we have activities in our lives that give us joy, that
Mhm.
give us peace, that give us release, that help us to regulate. And that could be anything that you like doing: singing, dancing, cooking, playing violent video games.
Piano.
Scary bunny.
Funny.
Playing
That's so
puzzle
funny.
games, watching TV. There's all kinds of things you can do. And you can do a lot of that on your own, which is
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
And those things are essential to help you feel better in general, to boost your mood so you can continue to work on your trauma recovery
Yeah.
or whatever it is you're recovering from. It's not just
Yeah.
trauma out there, but this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Then there is doing activities and hobbies in community. When you're doing it with other people, like-minded people who share in the same joys and the same trials and triumphs you do, who understands what you're saying and understands what you're feeling. It gives you a sense of connection,
Yeah.
Yes.
feelings of support. It gives you a release from normal life. I don't think we talked about that too much, but the frog is back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, the release you get, you're doing it together. It's like
Yeah.
a special kind of bonding.
Mm-hmm.
You could develop friendships from it.
Mhm.
You could get the people that you are most likely connected to, most connected to in terms of values, beliefs, what you like to do. And those connections are important for not feeling alone,
Yeah.
for getting support when you need it, and also correction, because at times we do need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what we're saying overall, to support your mental health journey, find things to do that you like to do, find people you like to do things with,
Mm-hmm.
connect to those people, help to regulate yourself, help to bring some joy to your life, and really focus on connecting and maintaining connections when it's not toxic or unhealthy. We certainly don't want that.
Right.
But if you find people that are good people, that are healthy people, that don't try to dominate or abuse you or whatever,
Yeah.
stick with those people, because that's going to be important to boosting your mood and helping you regulate your nervous system and give you support when you need it, so that you can keep going and keep growing. Hey!
Woo! Nice summation.
Thank you.
Well, that I was regulating those yawns all night. The last one escaped.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Finishing up.
Well, it's a good thing we're at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I don't have anything else. Shall we commence the dance?
Let us commence
Oh,
the
yeah.
dance.
And here we go. And
Like, share,
Subscribe,
Subscribe.
follow, do all the things, push all the buttons.
Push all the buttons.
You know what to do.
You
Now
know
do
what
it.
to do. Now do it.
Looking at you.
We have got to work on this choreography.
Yes,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so if you're listening to this and you think of somebody you think might benefit from listening to us cackle on, by all means share it with them.
on.
Please share. Let's develop community.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Support what we're trying to do here. I don't think I have anything else.
I
Do you
think
guys have
we're
anything
done.
else?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. All right. Well, then have a good whatever.
Bye.
See ya.
I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
I'm Rochelle Knapp.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
for joining us today. We hope you got some food for thought and encouragement to keep going and keep growing. See you next time. For more episodes, you can find us on Spotify and YouTube. Comment, like, and subscribe to spread the word and help the channel grow.